Okay, I'm feeling called to talk about the spider because maybe 1 year ago I'm very bad with time frames because time passes different in my life. But anyway, put it 1 year. um, I started seeing spiders everywhere, small ones, thank God, but spiders. And I was searching for the meaning of the spider, and everybody said the same thing. It's feminine energy, cool, but what does that mean? Because if you don't know what feminine energy is, how do you know what does it look like so that you can search for it or you can go deeper into it, you know? And I was like, damn, okay, but feminine energy is something really, really broad, like it's really expanded as a subject. And how the hell do I know what exactly should I study in feminine energy? And so I started dreaming about the spider web, you know, the sacred geometry of the spider web, and that I always was in a very beautiful place, very transcendent place after I crossed the place where the web was. And there rarely was any spiders, like, and if there were spiders, I didn't feel scared, shockingly. And then I started remembering that when I was in Australia and I lost my identity and I came back home to Brazil and was starting to discover who I was and starting to learn what it was like to live without an identity. I dreamt one day of freezing water. It was a freezing cold river, and I was with my mom and my cousins, but like only women of my family, you know, going to someone's wedding and a friend of the family's wedding. And there was this spider in a trunk right over the river, and it was something that only I could see, so I knew that it related to something that I carried inside that no one had ever seen, you know what I mean, because of the energy of the dreams and whatever. And so I started to learn about the spider in an entirely new way and search for different symbolisms and different meanings, in a sense of trying to get a deeper understanding, you know. So what I learned is that the spider means feminine energy, in a sense that it can, from inside of her, there is a thread that can come out if the spider wants it to come out, to make the web. And so the web that comes from inside the spider and that she uses her paws to sew, let's put it that way, um, is perfect. Just like the web that we build is perfect. And the web comes out without any knots. So first you have to untangle the thread, then you have to start, you know, tying it together like a person that is really crafty does, you know. And so the spider does the web intuitively. She doesn't think about it. It just happens, you see. And so because it just happens, it comes from a place of source. From source, you follow the thread, and when source tells you to tie it up one time, you do it. And so it starts first like this, then like this, then it goes back to like this, and then like this. So you build the expansion thread, right, doing like this several times, and you build the thread that sustains the expansion thread. And you start building this beautiful web that has sacred geometry because it's exactly the same everywhere you look at it. And it's responsible for feeding you, for protecting you, for sheltering you, because have you ever seen a spider that has a web needing to leave the web to find food? No, because the food gets stuck in the web. And so she's magnetic and she attracts things for herself, you know what I mean? It's like if she received. It's like if she was so connected to the source. I say she because in Portuguese we have masculine and feminine for animals, okay? I know that in English it's it. But the spider attracts everything for herself and doesn't need to leave the web. So once the web is built, all she has to do is wait. And that's it. And if someone, by any means destroys the web, or if the web is not in a safe space anymore, or if the spider wants to change spots to go somewhere else because of something that she intuitively had, instinctively has to do, she just leaves the web there and goes somewhere else. Or if the web is just destroyed, she goes somewhere else and she builds a new web. Why? Because she was born with it. It comes from within. She doesn't need to go searching for the thread, searching for for a rope or anything like it. It comes from within. Which I learned is something that, of course, every human being can do, but especially women do it like we just do it when we are connected with who we are because of the womb. The womb is very precious, and if you think about it, the womb is like this, right? Like a pyramid in reverse, and the pyramid is like this. And if you think about the ancient symbols that represent the four elements of nature, water, fire, air, and earth, you see the pyramid like this, and then it complements to the sides, right? It becomes a star when you put both of them together. With the pyramid is the same thing, and with the spider is the same thing. As within, so without. Because the thread is organized within the spider with no knots, the spider can release this thread evenly as she pleases to create the sacred geometry and the sacred web, where she is going to attract everything for herself. So she expands the field from within to without, and then she attracts everything, because everything that is passing by that is for her gets stuck in the web, so that she can feed herself, so that she can live her life, and so that she can receive things without having to put much effort into it. So the effort is to project what she carries inside, outside of herself, and transform inside and out in one thing that converses, that talks and has a unique bond. It's all the same thing manifested in different ways. So her outside life reflects what she carries inside of herself, and this is really magical. So that's how the spider teaches you how to manifest the life that you dream for yourself within. And it teaches you how to get whatever it is that your soul is craving, or whatever it is that you need right now to follow the path and continue in the path of the heart, in a way that is magnetic, like polar opposites, right? That's the compass. So this is really, it's much deeper than just feminine energy. It teaches you how to use the energy of the womb, how to use the energy that comes from in between your legs, which is sexual energy, creative energy that has created everything that you have ever seen in your life. And it organizes, in a very simple way, some sort of majestic power that we all carry within, especially if you have a womb, which is what the pyramid says, right? It is pointy, and so it's pointy upwards, and it projects downwards. So it's the connection between the divine and earth, right? Channeling from within and from the higher source that comes from within you, even though it comes from above. And also channeling in the base from the ground, meaning everything comes from up and down, from both sides, from within, from without, from up high, from down below, and from every single angle of the spectrum, And that's the spider. It has a divine connection to sacred geometry in every single teaching that we have about spirituality.